We now divert to the depths of the southwest UK countryside and the Dorset Heavy Horse Farm Park, a vintage-themed conservation centre helping visitors unravel the history behind the hard-working equines that helped power humanity for generations. It's home to a host of rare, gentle giants from Suffolk Punches to Percherons, working closely with the staff to keep the memory of their forebears alive.
It's very much a life commitment, but we love it. We're in the best company. We spend every day with these horses, and we find it's our job to sort of look after the few which remain today. We're not going to save the breed single-handedly, but we do our bit to try and help, especially with the Suffolk Punch, which is on the critical list of extinction. So we've been successful. We've had a little foal this year, Primrose, and she will stay here and begin a working life and then start a new bloodline. The story begins with my father, Richard. He was a builder, and one day he had a brainwave to begin a life in the forest and carry out gypsy caravan holidays. At this point we'd had cobs and shires, and the Clydesdales ran the heavy horse carriage rides throughout the New Forest. So it got to a point where we couldn't actually store this collection of wagons and horses, so we were looking for affordable land. The Heavy Horse Centre came up for sale, and it was affordable because it was completely derelict. It was shut down by the RSPCA, and many of the heavy horses here had suffered severe neglect. As a family, we began rehabilitation programmes to save them. Word then got around that, the Heavy Horse Centre's under new ownership and they're rescuing horses. So we then began to receive calls from actually all over the world. We rescued Percherons from France, and so over the 22 years we've been here, we've rescued over 100 horses. They all live in herds. They live out in the fields during the evenings. When the farm park is open during the day, they are the stars of the show, so they all head into their stables where the visitors can learn about all the history of the breeds, really engage with them. They're all here to represent their breed and the history, and they're either working or they're just enjoying a retirement life here on the farm.
I've always had a fascination with the working horse, more than any other. I'm not interested in really expensive horses, but give me one we can work with. And I think a lot of the horse people, they view working with their horses as so important because it's like your partner. When you work with a horse for many years, you almost feel like you owe it, because it's earned you a living. You almost feel in debt. One day we had an old gentleman that had worked the horse all his life. He must have been in his 90s. He said to me, we've used them for millennia. We lost millions fighting in wars. A few left, someone better look after, didn't they? And I think that sums it up.
I've always joked to my father saying, well, they share the same work ethic because they were bred for work. They're working animals. And when you work with the heavy horses, it's almost like working with a work colleague. You and the horse are completing a task sort of in harmony, but that relationship of working together to complete a task is something that the horse sense. I just think it's such an amazing thing, maybe something that's quite unexplained, but that connection between sort of human and a working horse is something, quite outstanding.
Along with representatives of the UK Shire and Suffolk Punch breeds, a pair of French Percherons make their presence felt during visitor meet and greets at the stables. But stealing the show today is a rare import from Austria, an example of one of the oldest European draft breeds, the Noriker.
We're always learning, so we continue to learn about different breeds. And Mo was a breed we hadn't come across. He was born in the mountains of Austria, and he was used as an acrobatic horse. So he's always been a bit of a performer. And his last home, the lady we rescued him off, it was a young girl that used him for riding. She didn't want him going to a riding school, she didn't want him continuously being ridden, and she wanted him to live with other horses. So this was sort of the perfect setting for him to be public facing, live as a herd sort of naturally with a bunch of other horses, and to sort of receive, daily attention, which he's lapping up all the attention at the moment.
Really ancient type of horse, as we said, primarily designed for cornering the gear across the Alps and heavily used by the Romans. But also one of the worst cases of numbers dropping due to finance after the war, went down from 35,000 to just a few. The horses are bred to adapt to climate and to stamina. What you get out of one horse, for example, is the Ardennes could take massive cold, hence why it ended up in doing Sweden logging work. The Noriker is very much the same, of course, but high stamina. Low maintenance as well, we're told. They don't eat ridiculous amounts, I think, because of that. And also the other great thing about the Noriker, it had a large genetic background, so you didn't get too many breeding problems with it. The other thing, of course, with Mo, he came from the background of being a bit of a stunt horse. Hence, I think he'd probably end up being one of the driving horses.
He's got a very big personality. He's quite a bolshy boy, very confident, cheeky. As you can see, he sort of thinks he's the boss. In the mornings, he's always wanting to be the first person in, and you'll know about it if he's not, because you'll hear him neighing at the top of his voice. Same if he wants to go out, he's the first one that wants to be out, and he'll be banging on his stable door if he's not. If you sort of respect him and do what he wants, basically, then he'll like you. Boundaries, he'll test them and push them to see what he can do, but he's a really nice boy when you get to know him.
We always guarantee a home for life, so any horse that is rescued or comes to live here, we don't sell horses. Horses don't part from us. They are here, till the end of their days. So I think it's peace of mind for previous owners that he will stay here. They can come visit him, and he's safe and he's happy. We have, a wonderful selection of visitors and also people that visit the farm park on a much more regular basis, and these people can often find a connection, usually one horse that they feel really connected to. Everybody has things going on in their lives, so they do act as a therapy and a comfort.
99% of your customers are coming for a nice day out, they're happy, and when you run a family business, that's not always easy. But no, I think we're lucky. I think we're very lucky.
We feel like it's our purpose, that's the job we've been sort of given on earth, to look after these. But at the same time, they also, serve us greatness, they look after us as well. And I've learned so much over the years, and I'm so grateful for everything I've learned and a different experience with different horses that I've met. So yeah, just a wonderful, hard but wonderful life.